The topic this week is God crashed my video game. And so some of you are probably like, what the heck are you talking about? And I hope you are, because that's the whole point of why I said that. Um, Genesis 22 is an interesting story about basically God and his covenant with Abraham. For so long, it's been misinterpreted. People have had crazy ideas about some of the things and what it means. Ultimately, that God wants to crash your video game. Now, let's say, for instance, I'll tell you a quick story here. There's a video game you really want. Like an example, let's say you wanted to get Final Fantasy III on the Super Nintendo, the original one, and getting an original Super Nintendo. It's not that easy. Let's say you wanted that, and it's something that you've always wanted for a long time. And along comes this guy, and he's like, you know what, I want to be your friend. You're like, okay, cool. So you start hanging out, and you find out the guy sells video games, video game dealer. And he asks you what you want for Christmas, and you tell him, well, I really want this video game, Final Fantasy III, the original Super Nintendo version with the Super Nintendo. I can't afford it, I can't find it anywhere, but this would be amazing. So this guy goes out of his way and he gets you what you want, and you're happy and you're excited and you're like, man, this guy is really awesome, you know, what he did, and you really have this friendship thing going on, and you're sitting at home one day and you've played the game for a while and you're really getting into it, and basically, let's just say you've really got some awesome magicites for Locke, so I can get really deep in the nerdiness. And let's say, for instance, you're delving into this, and Terra is leveling up, and you're looking pretty good on this game, and you get a knock on the door, and so you put down your controller, you stop playing, you go to the door, and there's your friend, and he goes, hey, I want you to prove that you love me more than this video game, so I want you to take it outside and smash it with a hammer. Because I want you to prove to me that you love me more than this video game. Now, I mean, what are you going to do at that point? Well, most people would shut the door, call the police, because the guy's a weirdo. You picked yourself a funny friend. Now, change the video game to your son, your only son, and change the weirdo to an insecure God. And then you've got the story of Abraham. At least the story that people have told for so long, that God was very insecure about his relationship with Abraham and told Abraham, well, I want to see if you really love me, so I want you to kill this son that I gave you. Yeah, go take him up on the mountain and offer him as a burnt offering. I want to see if you really love me. The story has been told that way for so long, and obviously, as you can see from the tone of my voice and a lot of my sarcasm, that is probably one of the craziest, most silliest things I honestly have ever heard in the Bible. Somebody interpreting the Bible that way, and that's definitely not the way it was meant to be. So, what does the story mean? Well, if you want to find out, why don't you show up this Saturday? Come to our Bible study. We're going to talk about it. Talk about a lot of other things. We're going to get talking about the covenant. What is a covenant? What does it mean to have a covenant with God? Why do so many people not even have a clue what the word even means? What does it mean to be a friend of God? What does it mean for God to require the fulfillment of the covenant? What does it mean when you read the story in Genesis 22 and you go, what the heck is going on here? Why is God asking Abraham to do something so far off? Well, you want to find out? Show up. Hope to see you on Saturday.